Hello, children. How you kids doing? AssholeConsulting.com, where the world's only professional asshole in the world, here to answer your questions as long as you got money because your dad wasn't around. We got a question. It's a good question because it's germane to everyone else. I apologize for the jarriness, but that's what we got to do while the internet gets repaired. Hello, asshole. Long-time viewer, first-time requester. My ask, I have a rather basic two-part request. The first is a simple question, and the second is asking for a diagnosis of a situation that I'm currently going through. My question, what do people do instead of dating? In one of your latest videos, you said it's antiquated, so what's the alternative? What am I missing? I ask this occasionally to people who I think are reasonably doing well, and I always get confused, muddled responses as to what exactly the tact or alternative is. Suffice to say, I'm not Vlad the Chad Elkins. Well, nobody is. No one is the Vlad Elkins. I am not Vlad the Chad Elkins with the ladies. Because of my confusion, I still stick with asking women out on conventional dates. Where's the move button? There's the move button. Okay, so let's do this as the first one. So I did, I don't know, I pontificated in a podcast or something about how, to me, that is the word antiquated. Like back in the 90s and the aughts, I would take a girl, dinner and a movie, if I could swing dinner. Then more modernly, I'd take them ballroom dancing and a dinner. And I look back at that now, the entire process from asking out, 10 gals to get 2 or 3 dates to have 1 or 2 actually show up. And you didn't even know the gal all that well. It's just she was cute. That was the only qualification. And that then begat significant resources in terms of time and money, especially when you're only making, like back then, and $10 an hour. But so that was from a cost benefit perspective, it's like, that is so dumb. it's just like, no, you didn't have the time. But then also, like, I don't know, I still can't even put my finger on it. So, to be actually honest, there's just something about going to a dinner and a movie where it's like, that's obsolete. That is outdated. Almost not creepy, but just odd or weird. Like I'm sure if you propose that to a 20-year-old girl, do you want to go out for dinner and a movie? To be this, like, it hasn't aged well. It just hasn't aged well. And so, whereas I can't fully describe, aside from like, well, that's a lot of cost and resources to go, for a girl you barely know. There's something else about those old forms of dating that they don't fly today. And so more modernly, again, I'm not young. I haven't gone on the dating scene in a while. But what has kind of, I think, maybe changed that tone or made older forms of dating antiquated and obsolete has been the internet, which has also affected or informed or guided people's expectations of dating. Because it gives you a venue to kind of date digitally, but also young people have been brought up with the internet, so that's how they socialize. So I think that maybe is what has caused analog forms of dating, old school forms of dating, to kind of go by the wayside. And so, whereas you may be an old soul and like, oh, I want to take a girl to dinner and a movie, which we'll get to a little bit later, I don't. It's not received well by young women of today. And you talk about a 20-year-old girl that you're trying to date now. And so today, what has more or less happened is dating has degraded from, let's go to a physical location, to, I think, the first stages of dating almost have to be online. And not only because of the convenience, that's where everyone socializes, and where most people are dating, or at least initially contacting one another. As young boys, especially now, where a lot of you don't want to work, you don't make enough money, cost of living and rent, you just like dinner and a movie. No, Maslow's hierarchy of needs says I got to feed myself first. And just the internet has really demoralized young men where it's like, whoa, I'm not taking these girls to a dinner and a movie. I want to get to know this girl first. So it has unfortunately become very unromantic and a little bit more digital, where you're going online, and that's where your initial dates occur. Where, okay, we exchange texts. Hell, I've had a couple clients that never met their. I've been dating a girl for 2 years. She's going to finally come and visit me. Wait a minute, what? You haven't met? What? And obscure as that is, that's increasingly common. And so it is what it is. I'm sorry, ladies. And to you, that's where I think most of the dating is we're going to exchange some texts. We're going to FaceTime a little bit. We'll meet on a dating app or whatever else. This isn't to say you can't meet people in person, but even then, you would still exchange texts, have that conversation, which then immediately, well, not immediately, but in much less time, much less money, much less resources for both the man and the woman, you can assess if it's even going to go anywhere further. You can see this in the data if you ever look at those Tinder analytics where, what was it, out of 16,000 swipes, single digits, you guys are going to go on an actual date. But an interesting transition is girls will match, like, say, 100 or 300 times. Out of 16,000 swipes, it's the low hundreds of the match. And then how many actually go on the date drops significantly down, because girls can assess immediately, much more quickly, whether they want to go on a date with you or not. The same, though, goes for the guys, is where you can also figure. Now, I know you guys want to get laid, and if she's cute, you'll tolerate the most mundane of texting conversations. But you really see, and they're kind of doing you a favor, because texting, it takes time. But going on an actual date in real world, now you got to drive. Now you got to come up with a plot. And so I think what everyone has to do, and it's for your own benefit because it's economic. I know it's not romantic, but it's economic, is assess early on through online dating whether or not. And you have an exchange with this girl that shows that you should not want to be going on a date with this girl, no matter how hot she is, because you're not interested. So that then goes down, and then you make the transition from digital to analog to old school. And even then, the dinner and movie, no. It really, okay, coffee, cocktails. I know a lot of girls are upset that men aren't romantic anymore. One, they don't got the money. You girls keep voting to take all the money away. And, we need free housing, which only drives up property. I'm not going to explain the economics of it. It's not free. The day that is for a girl you really like, and a girl that really likes you. And even then, I think there'd be other things that you could do. But your sequence is online interaction, get to know each other, chat. I'd have to look at the data. Less than 10% of those are going to result in, oh yeah, let's go out and go on a date. Then the date is very minimal, very introductory, no pressure. And like, let's get some coffee. I know this great little dessert shop. There's a bar nearby. And this is old school Tom Likas. You don't drive 3 hours. Nuclear Cadillo and Red Hawk it was Jack. They're talking about the hours. Like, how many hours would you drive to have sex with a girl? There was an hour rating. Guys, your time, and ladies, your time too, is just not worth it for something that has a very statistically low chance of leading to anything more serious. So it's just this real slow burn where you just incrementally. You don't have to be scientific about it. Like, okay, now we'll go to this stage. But coffee, cocktails, within walking distance. Vlad Elkins, who you're a fan of, obviously, he's got like 5 bars he can walk to. And that's it. There you go. And then you go from there. And a lot of this, keep this in mind, this is a 2-person formula. This is a two-person team. The girl also has to like you. If she likes you, you'll know it will go well. And then you'll be able to say, oh yeah, I do like this girl enough. Yeah, let's go to something more than coffee or cocktails. At that stage, then the world's kind of your oyster, but because it's so cliche, I would almost avoid dinner and a movie. Now, you're in a town, I won't say where, it's one of the best towns in the United States to be in, where you have a ton of non-traditional things you can do. There's tourist destination things, there's fun stuff going on. But me, if I were to go back on the front line, I obviously would start doing more hiking and hobby type of things. So we'd be going hiking like, hey, do you want to go for a motorcycle ride? There's some dancing. Well, not in South Dakota, but I'm a ballroom dancer. I would know how to. That's a real good in, by the way, if you're looking for some kind of skill to have. I'll something not traditional, but also fun. Something, and you got a ton of stuff out there that you can do. Still, like I was thinking, well, maybe golfing would be fun. And not everyone golfs, and that's like a 3-hour commitment. So no, but anything, kind of anything but dinner. Now, you go for the hike, you go get tacos, you go whatever, you go like fun being the main theme, but like you have a cheat day, like, hey, let's all go hit up like the ice cream shops, the pastry shops. I did that with a girl once back in Minneapolis a long time ago, and it was fun. And then, even though we had kissed the date before, when I gave her a kiss, she gave me the cheek. I was like, what? So that's what I would do. Is maybe you're a classic romantic, you can't be. You gotta be with the times and play to the market that you got. All right, now, so that's it. That's how dating has decayed. My situation. My confusion is further compounded by the situation I'm currently in. I was previously working with this girl, 20 years old, at a local place in this town. There's your problem. It's not your problem. It is what it is. She's 20 years old. I don't care that they're a legal adult. Ain't nobody in the United States an adult until they're 30, minimum. And some people never grow up. You're dealing with a girl at her peak value. You're dating a middle schooler. That's what you're doing. And in defense of women, when you're dating a 20-year-old guy, you're dating a middle schooler. So, and I don't know how old you are. You don't look like you're 20. You don't look that old either. But they're flighty, they're girly, they're dumb, they're giggly. Oh my goodness. They've never had to owe up to any kind of responsibility. They've never been rejected. They've never been told no in their life. And so you could just expect them to be flighty. And I know, like, oh, she's really hot, and maybe even had some chemistry. Like, man, that one girl, I'm remembering that. Like, things were going great. And then she gave me the cheek. I was like, okay. And then she called me up, wanted to go dancing with her, some kind of event over in Eau Claire. Which, getting back to that hour thing, was like, that's 5 hours round trip drive for a girl that just gave me the cheek. No, I'm good. She didn't like that. And here we go. She practically threw herself at me, which reminded me of your Wyoming story. So after checking the area for any tripwire snipers or robbers, I got her phone number. Now I got to go to the other screenshot. Is that the one? Okay, so let's go here. Scrolling down. Scroll up. Unlike most men nowadays, I contacted her, attaches our conversation, and yeah, she's like rejecting you, and I have to wash my hair, my boss, this, that, every excuse possible. It's over, man. Have some self-respect and just be like, okay, see you, bye, and like delete her number. Your time is the only thing you have. Stop wasting it on middle school girls who happen to be in a 20-year-old body. Yes, you could tell by reading the snippets of the conversation that are pertinent. She blew me off twice. I thought about ghosting her as the best solution outcome to the situation. Yes. Oops, scrolled up too quickly. Come on, computer. I think I got it. There we go. I also don't know if I'm facing the 7 and 8's dilemma that you spoke about in the past. Attaches a photo as well, but I wanted an older brother's point of view. Yeah, you are a good-looking dude. I'm not gay, of course, but you're in shape. You got nice face, chiseled. I'd even say 8.5. I don't know how tall you are. You could be starting to push the 9s. It could be, but like everything else, it's multiple things. I think in this individual case, you're dealing with your typical flighty American 20-year-old child. That's what Wish I could explain that to you, boys. I wish I could pierce through your sex drive and your horniness. That, like, hey, you're talking to a plant, okay? This is a plant. It doesn't have a name. Stop humanizing it. It's just a thing. It's just an NPC with a nice set of tits. Yeah, so I went through it. Yeah, dude, I won't waste your time with this girl anymore. And just expect that. Just expect it. They'll let you know. I'm moving more towards the philosophy of they'll let you know. They always say, how do you choose a dog? You let the dog choose you. It really is that way because the girl's got to be you're always going to want to go with the girl for sex at a minimum interest. The girl has to reciprocate. And it's just like, look, you make here's an offer. Do you want to text back or not? Hey, you want to grab a bite to eat? Yes or no? And then if she's giving you this, just saying no because women aren't courageous or equal to men when it comes to being honest and forthright, to say, no, I'm not that interested. You don't have time to be wasting with someone who is not direct and not an adult. And there you go. All right. Link below, or maybe not if I remember. Bachelor Pad Economics. Also get the book of numbers, Analyzing the ROI in the Pursuit of Women. You will see how few women are really interested in guys. It's not, and that's not a sour puss opinion. No, go look at the numbers, guys. It's actuarial. It's fact. And then if you guys have trouble dating, your dad wasn't around, go take my course. It's available on Teachable, called The Dad You Never Had. You search that, you find it. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.